Hi, I'm Deana Remington. I'm the counselor at Passmore Elementary. I'm here to present to you about internet safety, the benefits of social media, and some of the dangers that we need to be aware of. I will be presenting, and if you have any information that you would like further or questions, please let me know. My email will be at the end. I'm going to go over a quiz with you, and let's see where you are on your knowledge of being safe on the internet. I'm online and I meet someone my age in a chat room. Is it okay to give him or her my address or phone number so we can get together? Yes or no? Well, the answer is no. You should never give out your name or address to anyone you meet online. Even if you really want to have an offline conversation with this person, check with your parents to see if they think of a safe way to arrange it. I also recommend for parents who may be meeting people online to let their friends know and to have a safe situation set up, because I feel like this is something not just dangerous for young adults, but all adults. I have a digital picture of myself and someone I met online wants to see it. Is it okay to send it to that person? No, you should never send a picture of yourself to someone you met online without first checking with your parents. And again, as an adult, I would check with a friend and just say, hey, can you check this out? What do you think? Because it's always better that more than one person knows about it. We don't know if there is a creeper hiding behind that image, if they're catfishing you, young adults or any adults. I'm visiting a site from a company or organization that I've heard of. They want my name and phone number so I can enter a contest. Is it okay to enter? No, we never know when someone is legitimate. Even when we enter a contest, we should get people's permission, our parents' permission, our guardians' permission. And we really need to think twice about this. Are we opening ourselves up to be hacked? So really pay attention to that privacy piece. I'm in the middle of a chat session and someone says something really mean. Should I say something mean back, ask them apologize, or don't respond and tell an adult if it bothers me? This has happened to me. I have experienced being in chats with counselors and other professionals where you would think that there would be a higher standard. I made a comment and the adult did not agree with me and started to attack me personally and professionally and question my ability to do my job. I did not respond. I blocked the person and I actually talked to my husband about it because he was the one that was around. So no matter how hard it is, you do not need to defend yourself. You do not need to ever respond to anything that someone makes you feel uncomfortable or tries to tear you down. Tell an adult, talk to an adult. Again, young adult, any adult, talk to someone, because again, we never know who's catfishing us and what is safe. Unfortunately, sometimes things at face value are not what they seem. My parents and I have established rules as to what I can do on the internet when I'm home, but I'm at a friend's house. Should I go by my parents' rules or do whatever my friend does? Unfortunately, this is a hard conflict. Even when we as adults hang out with our peers, our moral ethics, our character is something that we carry with everywhere. And if we're not comfortable with it, we need to make sure to speak up and have a voice. So we need to go by those rules, go by our parents' rules. Wherever you are, you should go by those rules. There may be additional rules based on where you are. For example, if your parents have extra rules for your friend, you'll have to go by those too. When you're at school or library, you should go by those rules. But you should always talk with your parents about what they think is best. Talk to them together. Sometimes just asking, why do they have this rule in place? And parents sometimes explaining why you have the rule in place can open up a door for conversation that might not have happened in the first place. I'm online and I get a message from my internet service provider asking for my password. They said they need it to fix my account. Should I give it to them? This happens to me as an adult. They will send a message saying that my account has been compromised. Please fill out this information. So young adults, all adults, should make sure that they do not give out any password information over the phone, over the internet, at all. Just keep safe. I met someone in a chat room who wants to get together. They live nearby. Can I arrange a meeting? The answer is no. And be very careful about giving them your location. Again, we don't know who is on the other side. A picture can be taken from anywhere and used to catfish. It's very important that you never agree to get together with someone you meet online without first checking with parents. And again, adults, check with other adults so they know where you are and what you are doing, so you're always kept safe. Keep the meetings in public. We finished. We did a good job. I hope you did a good job. Let's move on. What I like about social media is that it can be helpful. I get homework done so much faster when I was getting my master's than having to sit up at the library to go through many, many outdated books. I get to stay connected with friends and family across the world that I would have never gotten to stay connected with because snail mail is too slow. We get to volunteer and get involved in things that we were not aware about, different nonprofits, different charities, different experiences, enhancing creativity, sharing ideas, music and art, meeting and interacting. Getting to do this meeting is, I feel very honored because I get to work with parents to help make our community safer. My children are in junior high, and so I want my community to be safer for them, for me, and for my students. To communicate with educators and fellow students. We started yesterday doing the presentation, and my computer just went into the spiral. The circle of death is what I call it. It wouldn't quit spinning. So I had to get that fixed today. So it's nice because I can record and be able to share with you. Another thing is gaming. Gaming is fun. I sometimes will play with my kids. I get beat a lot because the games are so much far more advanced than whenever I played back Nintendo 64. So contrary to what we were taught, parents 30 years ago, that video games rot our brain. In fact, there are numerous studies showing a link between critical thinking as well as hand-eye coordination in video games. But even with these benefits, we do not need to stay cooped up inside. We need to get outside and experience the outdoors. Who knows what they might be purchasing if you're not spending time understanding or putting the parental locks. Students, I encourage you, I'm sorry, I lost my voice for a minute. I encourage you never to share your passwords with your friends or share your account. My friend's son gave his account to someone to help advance him in a game. When he came back, all of his coins and all of his stuff that he had earned was stolen by his friend. So do not give out your information. Those coins can be very valuable and be very hard to get a hold of. There are different gaming security apps that you can put onto your phone, your devices, the Xboxes, PS2, 3, 4, I forget which number they're at. And down at the bottom of the screen, you can see I use safesearchkids.com, and then that way it can help me keep my kids safe. Communicating in social media, parents and students. Do you have netiquette? Do you always use your manners online? Will you be able to get through life with fragmented sentences, abbreviated words, and mere grunts? It's okay when we're communicating with our friends, but it's not okay when I'm communicating with parents, coworkers, my boss, or emails that are non-friend related. Sometimes I'm sent emails that I have to really decipher from students. I have to get a translator. So we've got to make sure that we're using words and not abbreviations. There are certain abbreviations that I thought stood for one thing, but then come to find out they have a whole different meaning. So what will happen when you leave the security of your school or campus with your classmates? Will you know how to communicate appropriately? What will happen when you meet a possible employer and can't speak or write proper sentences? So let's make sure that we're trying to practice. The way we practice is the way we perform.
Cell phones. Way back in the day, there were no phones. Then Alexander Graham Bell came along and woo, ring a ding ding. We be getting calls all day. Today, you carry your own talking device in your pocket. So how are you supposed to handle that? First, ringtones off at dinner. Ringtones off at work. If you're expecting a call, vibrate it. Texting can't always be avoided. Warn who you're with that you're about to text. Don't pretend you can talk and text at the same time. You can't. Just like you can't text and drive at the same time. Don't text and drive. Also, if you make eye contact with me, I think you're listening to me. So don't text under a table and lie to me with your eyes. As far as sending photos, if you wouldn't send the photo to a young version of your mom, don't send that photo. Don't put in print or picture what can be screen grabbed and shared with strangers. Voice memos, keep them clean, y'all. The president is listening. Don't text the wrong person. That's a mistake your mom makes. This feels counterintuitive, but when you hear big news, happy or sad, text your response. Heard your dog sick, my condolences. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Texts don't seem very personal, but because they're fast, it's actually pretty cool to get a little love bump from a friend. Also, for the love of love, spell things correctly. I think if you're texting friends and you have a bunch of slang terms or abbreviations, good on ya. But when texting parents, new friends, or potential relationships, spell things right and spell check for accuracy. Why? Because you're smart, so show it. Thanks for sending in your questions using #SmartManners. Here's one. That person who's always futzing on their phone while talking. How do I get them to realize it's rude? Hey, it's a little rude that you keep picking up your phone while we're talking. Do you mind putting it down for just a bit? If they really can't do it, maybe that's just who your friend is and you have to get used to it. But if you really try and connect with them, hopefully they'll listen to you. Cheer up, we're back with another episode of Modern Manners next week. See you later. And now I feel older than your mom. To watch more, click here. To subscribe, click here. Follow.
That's a little bit of etiquette for us. And then we're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts. I'm going to play one more video. Here you go.
In the olden days, there was a town crier who would shout the news of the day to people on the street. That's basically every app on your phone. So you have to be extra careful with how you share the details of your life. You are a smart girl, and your social media presence should say so. Don't post anything that makes you look ignorant. As a general rule, if you wouldn't want your mom to see it, don't post it. Imagine moms hiding everywhere, just waiting to like your photos on Instagram and ask you what on fleek means. Don't post cryptic messages about fights you're having with your friends online. Jasmine has been muted. She knows what she did. No matter what she did. They used to call that airing your dirty laundry. Dirty laundry stinks. Real bad. As far as how often to post, well, some people like to post a photo every 10 seconds. Heading to Starbucks, in line at Starbucks, just got my mocha, drinking my mocha, back into sunlight, no, back into Starbucks, my life is a circle! Being that person is intense, and it distracts you from enjoying what's happening around you. Refrain from posting instead of living. Take the photo if you really want to, then #latergram it. Get in the habit of putting your phone away, or at least turning it over when you're in good company. You never want to give the impression that what's happening on Snapchat is more interesting than the living, breathing person right in front of you. And if you ever want no social media at an event, don't be afraid to tell your friends so. I want to enjoy girls' night without cell phones. Please just bring your pajamas and enough cookies to share. I'll be there. I love cookies. 3, relationship status. I'd say wait at least 6 months before declaring yourself in a relation on Facebook. You know, just in cases. The people who matter already know what's up. P.S. Don't accept every friend request. Just leave the ones you're not sure about pending forever. The magic of the pending friend request is it's not me. Leaving it pending is just saying, I'm out living life and not constantly checking on my friend count. That's how rad I am. Finally, if you don't think you're strong enough to have good manners on social media, either make a super secret profile that only you and your cat can see, or disconnect. You are smart and wonderful, and you don't need the likes. Look up and see the world. It's pretty outside. Thanks for sending your questions about social media to #SmartManners. Is it okay to post an Instagram of my friend without asking her first? No, it's not. Because your friend needs to be in charge of her own social media presence. So the smart girl's thing to do is to just ask her friend first. Watch more, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and send us your questions via #SmartManners.
I hope you were able to learn from those and get some good information. What is bad about social media? Well, social media can be a hub for things like cyberbullying and questionable activities. So without meaning to, sometimes we, even in adults, can go online and do more than they should. Sometimes we post photos of ourselves online and we do use our real names on our profiles. So we need to make sure that we keep our profiles private. I know that we want lots of friends and we look at that and it makes us feel good because we're having lots of followers, but make sure that you're not giving all of your information away. We often reveal our own birth dates and interest and post school names and the town where we live. So it makes it so much easier for targets, for you to be a target for online predators. So we need to make sure just to cut back and not be geotagging everywhere so that way they cannot see our patterns. So what is oversharing? When people share something they later regret.
The idea of, posting and having a lot of people see it can definitely be kind of scary. If you're a teenager, you're going to make bad decisions sometime.
They can screenshot it. They can do so many things to save that, and they can edit it in ways that you won't want them to.
Whether or not you think it'll go away, it's there. Anything you post online, you're stuck with.
Oversharing to me is putting too much of your personal life in front of a wide audience of people.
Posting something for the sake of showing that you're there and maybe not because you're actually having that great of a time.
Posting about things that people don't necessarily think are significant, but they're just kind of posting to be posting.
What you share and how often you share is going to affect the way that somebody views you. Just because I'm going to post all the time, that doesn't mean that you get all the attention. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to like you.
For example, people have like Finstas or spam accounts where they just like post random stuff, and sometimes they get too personal with what they're talking about on there.
Things that are meant to be texted one-to-one, people tend to post online so 50 other people can see their plans for tomorrow or the next weekend. You could be doing something like that could potentially endanger yourself by making your account public and saying too much about where you live or who you are.
When I'm in like a cool location and I want to show everybody where I am, but most of the time I'll just tag where I am on like a Snapchat story so people can know.
So once you put something online, it can be there forever because people might take screenshots, they might record it, they might save it.
I don't think people don't realize that it's going to be there forever. I think they just don't care. A lot of people have this mentality of like, what I'm doing is very insignificant. Why is anyone going to care about this?
You should be cautious of what you post. You don't post your pictures and think like, okay, nobody's seeing me, nobody's screenshotting me, nobody doing nothing, because people doing that, you just not gonna know.
Your Snapchats, despite the fact that they only last, 4 to 8 seconds, they're still there. Your Instagram stories that go away after 24 hours, they're still there. Anything that is posted, anything that's up, no matter
what happens even if you leave it up for a minute and take it down, it's there as soon as you put it up there.
No one's going to scrutinize everything that you say the same way that you write.
You are not obliged to post every second of your life in order to please what you might seem as the majority of people. So when you feel like you have to post all the time, when you feel like you have to do this in order to get fame and attention, you don't. It's not your job.
That's something you always have to be thinking about. What do you want people to remember you on social media as?
Commonsense.org is a great website that I use for my own personal kids and here when I'm teaching. I discovered this year as I was preparing for this this presentation, www.kathleenamorris.com. And she says, don't yap about your yappy online. Don't give your full name, your address, your phone number, passwords, your plans, and your birthday. Think carefully before revealing your opinions, your geolocation, your clubs, your teams, your photos, your videos, your holiday plans, and information about others. When we went on a trip, we didn't post our stuff until we came back, just so we could have it in memory. But we made sure that it all was private and only our people that we knew I use Facebook and Instagram. I also use Snapchat. So I make sure that the things that I post are only sent to my family members and my friends. And things that can't be used against me, because sometimes family members and friends tend to get upset with you over differences of opinions. And so they could use that. So make sure that what you post is something that benefits you and not hurts you. Digital footprint is all the information online about a person, either posted by that person or someone else posted it. It will create a trail of data using all the sites and information that you use, you send, and passive digital footprint is a data trail you unintentionally leave online. The more time you spend online, even if you think you've deleted it, the more it grows. It's like going to the beach and you step on the beach and you get in sand and you think you get all the sand off, but you find it in the car, you get home and there's still more sand. That's how I explain to my students what a digital footprint is.
Do you know you leave digital footprints behind when you use the internet? It records what you are doing, where you are going, and why you are doing all the things online. You may think that you have nothing to hide, but you may leave digital footprints behind, such as your search history, text messages, photos, and videos, tagged photos, likes on Facebook and Instagram, browsing history. Why are digital footprints important? If you're not careful, you may leave bad footprints behind. Your online reputation may be at stake. Your words and photos can be misinterpreted. Content for a private group may be spread to a broader circle. This will hurt relationships and friendships. Your future employers may check on your digital footprints. Step 1. Stop and ask yourself questions before you post, forward, or reply to something. Step 2. Ask yourself some questions when you post online. How would others view me? Would I want others to post this about me? My parents, friends, teachers, and everyone will see my posting. Am I okay? Do not post if the answer is no. Step 3. Treat others like how you want to be treated. Do not post hurtful things about others online. Step 4. Avoid becoming a victim of bad digital footprints. Here are some tips. Turn off geotagging or location settings on your phone and social media. Check the content you're being tagged in. Remove those that are offensive or inappropriate. If you have posted content you regret, remove it immediately. Take a break from social media for a while if you're posting lots of things that are hurtful to yourself or others. Your digital footprint paints a picture of who you are online. Remember to think before you click and share online.
Your digital footprint affects us immensely. So looking back on things, the police, the teachers, different students, they can go back and get any text messages, any videos that were sent, things that you thought went away can still be duplicated. So back in 2017, a law went into effect. It's called David's Law. And it was created by the Mullock family because David was a student who was a victim of cyberbullying. And the law was created to help protect other children. They wanted to prohibit the bullying of any student, prohibit retaliation against victims, witnesses, or any other person who tried to help in good faith. This law requires the notification of the alleged victim's parents or guardian on or before the 3rd business day after the incident is reported. So a victim's parents and guardian will be notified if something is happening. Sometimes victims tend to not share with their parents. They're scared or they're embarrassed. They think parents sometimes won't understand. That's why having open communication about things and talking, parents do understand that we were picked on, often or made fun of. And sometimes we did it ourselves, not even realizing what we were doing. So it also requires that the parent or guardian of the alleged bully is notified. That way, the parent can also take care of it. It establishes the action a student should take to get assistance and intervention. ALVIN ISD has an online reporting. That way it is only sent to the school at hand, sent over to ALVIN ISD administration. Each one of our schools under the counseling page has a way to contact and submit. Here at my school, I've given the students the outlet to be able to ask for the nurse, so that way they don't know that they're coming to report to me. There is reporting through privacy writing on information and submitting it. So there are several ways that students can, without becoming targets or without giving all their information out, to be able to get help. They're going to establish the actions a student should take to get assistance. I'm sorry, I just went over that one. Establish procedures. Like I said, there's online reporting. There is reporting. There are boxes that students can write and put information into. Prohibit disciplinary measures against a student found to be the victim of bullying in regards to self-defense. In 2019, they updated the law and added all public schools are required to teach digital citizenship, including criminal consequences of cyberbullying, to include suicide prevention training that would be done through health classes, expansion of anonymous reporting to now provide safety and privacy. And then we owe these advances in the law to David Molack and the David Molack family. They've turned the worst days of their lives into ways that can change it for the rest of our students here in Texas. I'm sorry, or the rest of our kids here in Texas. And I just want to thank them. My son is in the now 7th grade, but in the 6th grade when he was in junior high, he and his theater arts class did a project over anti-bullying, and he reached out to David Molack's mom, and she was able to answer questions and support him and give him information for his presentation. What are the fines? Well, so what happens? That's a question that is asked of me a lot. When you are 10 years or older, you are held liable for what you post on the internet and you post and say to people and bullying. So the new legislation amends Texas code to make cyberbullying a Class B misdemeanor. It can be punishable by law up to 180 days in jail and maximize $2,000 fine. The offense becomes a Class A misdemeanor if the offender has a previous conviction for cyberbullying or if the victim was under 18 years of age and was targeted with intent to make the victim commit suicide or hurt themselves. A Class A misdemeanor is punishable by up to a year in jail and a maximum $4,000 fine. Cyberbullies can also face expulsion or be sent to alternative schools. Sorry, I lost saying that. I'm very passionate about this. I don't want this to happen to students. I really try to have them speak up and use their voice to not be in fear, because if we're hiding, we become victims. And I really feel very passionate about this project, and that's why I am speaking out and doing this presentation for everybody in the district. The word bully it just rips my heart out, because I really want students to speak up and have a voice, so then that way they can stand up and not feel like they have to hide. I encourage my students to reach out to their parents and to reach out to their friends and stick together. Remember, what you think is a joke is not something that other people might think that you are just joking. Under this law, an individual may be charged with harassment if they text or email another person with the intention to harass, abuse, annoy, or torment the person to the point that they fear for personal or property safety. Impersonating a student online with the intention to harass or defame the person is also a serious crime. If convicted of online impersonation, the individual could face felony prosecution. That's where the new laws can help. They allow law enforcement to initiate prosecution and to arrest cyberbullies, or any individual engaging in cyberbullying behavior may face criminal charges and severe punishments. Protect yourself from cyberbullying. Do not share your passwords with anyone, including your friends. I think friends tend to have different opinions. They tend to grow. They will get upset with each other. And 1 week they could be upset with each other, and the next week they're back to being friends. It's conflict. And so the best way to proceed is to not share those passwords and things with your friends, because then that way the conflict is not beyond being resolved. Using different passwords and logins for different accounts means that someone cannot access all of your accounts. Sometimes people use the same one because it's easy to remember and they forget, and so they'll switch it all back. So if a person finds out one, they're able to find out any. If the photo is private, if it's personal and you don't want others to see it, do not text it. Do not put it into Snapchat. Do not send it to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or anyone else. I am still at the belief of my age, which we won't discuss online, but I am still at the belief that if I don't want my mom and dad to see it, I don't put it out there. Let alone that this is my job and I don't want people from my job to see something. I won't put it out there. Consider what you're sharing. Even when you share it privately, other people can still see it because the internet is so vast and big. Think about your comments before you post about someone else. How would you feel if someone was saying it about you? This is something that we all need to work on, kids and adults alike. We will often put our own opinions out there because we don't like the way someone dressed or the way that someone behaves, or we don't like what they said. We need to make sure that we think about, just because it's our opinion doesn't mean that everybody has to hear it. The more we try to prove a point, sometimes often is the more conflict occurs. Remember to stop bullying, cyberbullying, regular bullying. You're not alone. There are plenty of resources to help deal with your situation. Reach out to an adult that you trust. Reach out to the campus. Reach out to someone. And that way you feel connected and they can help you. These are below some people who are qualified that you can contact. So let's talk about job hunting. Why am I putting this up? Some of you may be a little younger and thinking about not thinking about a job right now. But the history of what you put out in the world is going to be there. And if you are making fun of people and being rude to people, discriminating against color, ethnicity, gender, if you don't agree with someone and you're voicing your opinion so loudly, but not in a positive way, it can affect your job and your future colleges. I am sorry, that seems to have decided to not work for the job hunting one. So let's see. Try it one more time. So this is Safe Share. I try to put my videos into Safe Share because on the internet, we never know what is popping up. What the video discussed was the fact that jobs do look at online forums for once they've interviewed someone, so they can see what kind of person that they would like to hire, see if that person represents their company well. And it's definitely done afterwards, so there's no perceived notion of anything and you're not discriminating. But I myself, when I was looking for different people, different things, and seeing how well I would mesh or work with them, once I've spoke with them and I've decided, hey, this might be a good person that I can work with. And then I look online, and if I'm seeing a lot of hate things or a lot of negativity, a lot of vulgar posts that would not represent well, it makes me change my mind. So I know several people who own companies and businesses, and they do the same thing. Getting to college, and I'm sorry, let me present this. As you prep for college, admission officers are watching. According to a 2018 Kaplan Test Prep survey, 25% of college admissions officers browse social media. That means it is fairly likely that a decision maker at a college can not accept you and take a peek at what you're posting. A positive social media, one lady started a company with her mom, so it was cool to visit their website. A negative social media is they found a student's Twitter account with some really questionable language. Often I hear from different people is about posting with drinking and doing questionable acts, such as smoking, different things that are against the law. A lot of vaping. A lot of companies look at and see if they're vaping. They're like, they're going to be taking a lot of smoke breaks, and I'm just not eager to hire somebody and I have to pay them to take breaks. So think about those things. Hopefully this video works. Really. Oh, the loving and hating social media. Let me see if I can pause here for a minute.
College admissions. That special time in a teenager's life when they ask institutions of higher learning to saddle them with soul-crushing debts. Not the issue of who does or does not get into prestigious universities. If you apply to college someday, you'll want to put your best foot forward. Lauren has advice for not tripping yourself up. This week's College and You is about avoiding common mistakes.
You probably know the basics. Grades, terrific SAT or ACT scores, a great essay, leadership positions, talent, community service, a job. They all can help you get into the college you want. But here's something you might not know. The difference between getting into the school of your choice and not can come down to some very avoidable mistakes. So pay attention to the advice from these experts. They're admissions officers at schools around the country. We asked, when it comes to filling out the college application, what are some of the biggest blunders they see?
I think not putting enough care probably into their actual application.
I think they need to take the application very seriously. I think sometimes they are rather casual about it.
What are common mistakes kids make either in preparing for college or while applying?
I think the biggest mistake is not reading the application instructions.
That could lead you to answer questions incorrectly. The experts say you should be particularly careful with online applications. Spell checking without proofreading could let embarrassing typos pass through. And attaching the wrong documents can deliver the essay from college A to college Z. Speaking of the essay, make sure yours is on target. This is your chance to give the admissions deans a clear picture of who you really are.
I remember a student who had a brilliant record in high school a few years ago.
Forever, and that's what happened. Someone saw it, took a screenshot, it went viral. And university officials were notified on Friday, and her offer of admission was rescinded on that next Monday. People think Snapchat, it's only a couple seconds, and it's gone. Well, you know what? If someone takes a screenshot, it's there forever, and that's what happened. Someone saw it, took a screenshot, it went viral. And university officials were notified on Friday, and her offer of admission was rescinded on that next Monday. People think Snapchat, it's only a couple seconds, then it's gone. Well, you know what? If someone takes a screenshot, it's there forever, and that's what happened. Someone saw it, took a screenshot, it went viral. And university officials were notified on Friday, and her offer of admission was rescinded on that next Monday. People think Snapchat, it's only a couple seconds, then it's gone. Well, you know what? If someone takes a screenshot, it's there forever, and that's what happened. Someone saw it, took a screenshot, it went viral. And university officials were notified on Friday, and her offer of admission was rescinded on that next Monday. People think Snapchat, it's only a couple seconds, then it's gone. Well, you know what? If someone takes a screenshot, it's there forever, and that's what happened. Someone saw it, took a screenshot, it went viral. And university officials were notified on Friday, and her offer of admission was rescinded on that next Monday. People think Snapchat, it's only a couple seconds, then it's gone. Well, you know what? If someone takes a screenshot, it's there forever, and that's what.
Welcome to the Google Online Safety Roadshow.
We're here to teach you a few things you need to know so you can stay safe online
And enjoy all of the fun things that the web has to offer.
Think before you share.
The web connects us all,
And allows us to share in ways we have never before been able to,
whether through social media posts, comments,
or even videos.
we can reach friends near and far with just a click.
But what you share on the web and who you share it with can end up saying a lot about you.
And can become a part of your life story. You can't control information once it's out there in the world.
What you post or send can easily be forwarded, copied, or found by other internet users,
including strangers.
Or people you know who aren't necessarily your friends.
Other people's impressions of you can change based on what you share.
And posting inappropriate information can have negative consequences you may not have considered. That can mean impacting your place on the soccer team, summer job opportunities,
or even one day.
Welcome to the Google Online Safety Roadshow.
We're here to teach you a few things you need to know.
Okay, let me show the video that I wanted to show. I paused the video to research and find it again. So here you go.
Google Online Safety Roadshow.
We're here to teach you a few things you need to know so you can stay safe online
and enjoy all of the fun things that the web has to offer.
Think before you share.
The web connects us all
and allows us to share in ways we have never before been able to.
Whether through social media posts, comments,
or even videos.
We can reach friends near and far with just a click.
But what you share on the web and who you share it with can end up saying a lot about you.
And can become a part of your life story. You can't control information once it's out there in the world.
What you post or send can easily be forwarded, copied, or found by other internet users.
Including strangers.
Or people you know who aren't necessarily your friends.
Other people's impressions of you can change based on what you share.
And posting inappropriate information can have negative consequences you may not have considered. That can mean impacting your place on the soccer team, summer job opportunities,
or even one day, what college you go to.
The internet is an awesome tool for having fun and making new friends. But with great power comes great responsibility.
So use your power for good. You can just as easily lose friends as make them, based on how you manage your reputation online.
So don't forget
to think before you share.
So what does your online digital footprint say about you? I know that I'm constantly learning, and I had a world before the internet. Our children haven't, so they don't know what it's like to not be connected all the time. Okay, think about this. Have you ever been contacted online by someone you didn't know in a way that made you feel uncomfortable or scared? I know students are getting phones earlier and earlier because we do not have landlines. And sometimes when they're on their way to the bus, riding to school on the bus, sometimes they will get random text messages. And I've instructed them if something bothers them to let me know, and I'll teach them how to block the number. I also reach out to the parents so that they are aware of this. I feel as a parent, it's very important that you teach your kids how to block those phone numbers and to keep them from calling. And sometimes they just keep sending messages. And so it's better that we just teach them how to block them. Have you received online advertising that was inappropriate for your age? I have never looked at a dating site. I've been married for over 20 years, and I have been recently started getting information. I wondered if someone decided to use my information and put it out there as a joke, which is just takes up space on my email, and I just have deleted them, and I have stopped them from coming. Have you ever lied about your age to get access to a website? So besides problems like cyberbullying, online predators are these are the ways that they use to find you. All right, apps parents and kids alike should know about. These are some of the apps that kids are starting to use. Some of them are older, and there's ones that are constantly evolving that I cannot keep up with. But this was some of the current ones. The ones that I'm familiar with, of course, are TikTok. So let's talk about that briefly. TikTok challenges have been giving parents, teachers, headaches alike. And remember that when you are doing these challenges, that some of them are highly against the law, and you film yourself and you put yourself out there, you are liable. You cannot blame it on a TikTok challenge. It really concerns me that some of the TikTok challenges have promoted stealing and hurting other people. So if you are a part of those and those ever get filmed, that will hurt you, not only in school, but your future endeavors. Snapchat, which we've heard has been talked about. Snapchat is something that students feel that have gone away. I myself have been a victim of Snapchat gossiping, where students were having a disagreement that got pretty intense, and the other student started making fun of the student, telling her, "Are you going to show Miss Remington?" and calling me a few choice names. It happens. I forgave the student because I feel like they're starting to learn how to use things and they want to vent. But Snapchat is not the place to do that. Vent at home, vent to your parents. They can help you understand and maybe even see a different perspective than just the one that you're aware of. I hope, parents, you've gotten to look at some of these. Those were the two that I find the most are being used. Tips to keeping up with the latest apps and sites is do a little research. www.missingkids.org, Nets, Marts, Resources, commonsensemedia.org. Talk to other parents. Talk and listen to your kids. I mean, ask them, they like to brag about what's current, because we are often very outdated as parents. What we think is the most current information is already trailing in behind us. It's like driving a car up the parking lot. You think you're getting the newest model and you think it's worth something. You drive it off and it's depleted. That's kind of how the internet works. New is coming up constantly. Make sure that you look at your devices and make sure that you are linked to age-appropriate sites. I know on Verizon, they have some parent sites, and I know on Apple iPhone, and I know there's different sites. My students and my own biological children, we have really talked about thinking before you post. Is it true? Well, it may be your opinion, and it's the truth that you are speaking from yourself, but is your opinion helpful? Is it going to make the world a better place? Is it going to inspire the world? I'm not talking about you have to be kid president. You don't have to be anyone that is trying to bring mass positivity to the whole world. But it just, is it gonna make somebody feel bad? Then don't do it. Is it necessary? Does someone need to hear your opinion? Well, sometimes we say yes, but is it really necessary to voice it? And most of all, if it's kind. I know sometimes I see, as an adult, I see adults get very angry and they will blast things on the Facebook, Instagram, different chat sites, and then they realize that it was not very kind and it is quite embarrassing. So I would say, make sure to take a break before you do that, kids and adults. This is something that I go over with my students and my own biological kids, is I pledge to never use my device as a weapon. I have this sticker, and if you want to learn more about David's Legacy, go to davidslegacy.org. It is, the Molacs were from San Antonio, or are from San Antonio area, and they have really tried to help us here in Texas to help protect our kids. So there are lots of rules about how kids and parents should use the internet and mobile technology. But the most important rule is the parents and kids talk with each other. I know sometimes parents seem outdated, but sometimes having that different perspective, just having that conversation, when different messages are sent, it is so best to go to your parents and talk to them because they have your best interest at heart. They're not going to be the friend who is friends with you this week and gets irritated with you beyond belief next week. However, we do get irritated as parents, but we don't ever stop loving you. So we took this pledge together as a family. That way we have our stickers that we use on our phones to help remind us. And I actually post some things on the refrigerator. So here are some tips for the students. Make sure that you're looking. Laws, many sites and web tools are 13 plus. Most images and work online are protected. So if you're sharing images and you're claiming to be someone that you're not, that can get you into a lot of trouble. Number 2, talk to your parents about what you are doing online. Doesn't have to be in detail, just in general about the sites that you're going to, just so that way, if something ever comes up and someone tries to intimidate you or someone tries to use it against you, you've already been open and honest with your parents. You're one step ahead of the catfish spamming person. 3, friends, don't add or meet online friends without permission. And when I say that, whatever guidelines you have set up with your friends, set up with your parents, I do not want my kids just randomly getting people that are not in their school, not in their area. If you don't recognize the name and they're saying they go to your school, more than likely they don't. They've gotten some information about you and they're trying to catfish you. Privacy, keep all of your personal information private. Make sure that you're not yappy. You're not giving out that yappy information. Your name, your address, your phone number, your passwords, your plans for the night. Post them afterwards if you want to keep them for memories, and your birthday. Your reputation is what you put online. So don't do anything that you would not want, ultimately, your teachers, your family, your coaches, or any future employee or college or job to see. Question, you cannot believe everything you read and see online. There's a lot of incorrect information. And you want to make sure that you go in it saying, hey, is this correct? Or is this something someone just believes? Bullying. If you think someone is being cyberbullied, stand up for them by speaking out. Don't try to get online and get into an argument with a person. Reach out to the site so they can be blocked. Reach out to your parents and say, hey, I want to help my friend. I'd rather help my friend and help them stand strong than wish I would have done something later. Accounts, choose sensible email addresses and appropriate ones. There are some email addresses that even now parents will giggle and say, I wish I wouldn't have used that, but I've used it so long that I don't want to lose my contacts. Manners, be polite and respectful at all times. The golden rule, I teach it to my students every day, all day. They know that they should treat others, and so do my children, treat others online how you'd like to be treated. And number 10, unplug, balance your screen time and your green time. Do something else, give yourself a break. Anxiety is heightened. Being depressed is heightened. Unplug, it is okay. Interact face-to-face with people so you get the socialization you need. If in doubt, think about and talk it out. Internet safety for parents. I know after this, parents are gonna be like, I'm not gonna let my kid be on the internet. Please don't do that. Don't block all their access to technology. If you block it, they're gonna sneak and try to get on it. If you are open and honest with them, they're gonna be more open and honest with you. It is very scary for people to be honest in fear of getting into trouble. We need to make sure that we stay calm and we talk positively about the internet and the things that are beneficial to it. Take interest in some of the favorite apps. I do not play the games well like I used to, but I don't mind if my kid beats me. It's just about spending time with them. Yes, be the parent. You are in charge, set boundaries, and consider using filtering software. 4, create a family media agreement. Talk about when there'll be tech-free zones, such as at the dinner table, such as when you're eating, such as family movie time. We went to the movies and watched a movie, and kids were texting, people were texting and taking pictures. Enjoy the moment. 5, teach your child what personal information they should not reveal. Remember the YAPI acronym. 6, help your children learn to filter information online and navigate from fact and fiction. Teach them how to block information. Teach them when something pops up to exit it out and to clear the information so that it cannot keep that digital footprint and they keep coming back. 7, navigate digital dilemmas with your child. Avoid using devices as rewards or punishments. So my sons have a lot of audiobooks online. So if I take away all their devices all the time, I take away their way to contact me. So what I do is they earn more or less screen time. If they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing and using it responsibility, it's a lot less. So I can't take the phone away from them. I want them to be able to contact me and get a hold of me. Taking the phone away will punish me just as much as it would punish them, because I wouldn't be able to pick them up and do the things that I need to do. Balance screen time and screen time at home. Focus on those, basic developmental needs. If you're telling your kid to get off the phone with them and go play basketball outside. Do something together. 9, don't support your child to sign up for sites with age restrictions if they're underage. 10, learn more, explore reliable resources for parents so you can educate yourself. Educating yourself and sharing knowledge with your kids only helps keep that conversation going. Here are some safety apps for parents that you can use. I do have safety apps on my phone, my children's phones. My grandmother, we have Track. She can see where we are. We can see where she is, my parents, myself, my husband, and my kids. That way, if we were ever in a car accident, we are able to help each other out. If a child is turning it off, then that is something that you need to talk about. That is not a safe thing to do. It is not about tracking them and knowing their every move. It's about being able to have access if there's a situation. There are several on here that you can look at, look and see. I know Verizon has parental controls. I know that iPhone has some. And so look at it and talk about with your kids why it's happening. Don't be sneaky and try to hide it, because then it makes the kids feel like they should hide too. I'm very open. I feel being open, they're going to be more likely to be open with you. But again, these are my opinions. So I just want to thank you for participating. I am so passionate about making sure kids are safe online. It is something new for us. It is something that they have migrated in. We are immigrants. We're coming from the outside in. And so it is important to make sure that they know they have a safe person to go to. Make sure what you post is safe. Make sure it represents you most of all. And thank you so much for attending and hearing my training. Please let me know if you have any questions or reach out to me. And thank you so much.